This is the Relevant Podcast.
It's episode 997. We are almost to the huge 1000th episode. It's episode 997. It's the Relevant Podcast here in Orlando. I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and joining me from Loverland, Virginia, is Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Austin, Texas, author, speaker, and podcaster, Jamie Ivey.
Hey, guys.
And from Fort Worth, I think she's in Fort Worth right now, our very own downtown, Emily Brown.
Hey, y'all.
Hey. We kind of have a momentous show today. Coming up later, we have the cast of the most expensive show ever made, The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. How else would the most expensive show in all of history want to make their big debut by coming on the Relevant Podcast? It's crazy.
I love it.
They're paying us $35 million just to come on the show for 12 minutes later. It's a huge budget.
It is going to cover my budget for about 3 weeks. We're good. We're good.
Those Bezos bucks, they really last.
I need to get my spending habits under control. Do some Dave Ramsey envelopes, but yeah, that's crazy. I'll be honest. I'm not the diehard Lord of the Rings fan, but I am very intrigued with this show. Like when we heard the story of like how much money Amazon paid for the rights, and then there's all this stuff. It's just like, I am very, very intrigued to see what they created. So
I'm going to be honest with you. I saw these movies when they came out, however many years ago. My husband dragged me to like the midnight showing, and you all know that I only saw the first 30 minutes of every movie.
I'm with you.
I don't even know how.
Well, then the TV show is perfect for you because
I'm going to love it.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's going on.
I just watched the series for the very first time this year, like in January, because my dad found out that I hadn't watched it and he just was shocked. So we watched it all in like one weekend. I did try to watch it in college though with some friends, and they put on the extended edition, which was already I wasn't sold on the film already, but they put on the extended like edition versions. And then one of my friends quoted, I'm not kidding, every single word to the film. And I got so mad at him that I said I would never watch his movies again because he ruined them for me. And I kept that promise until this year. So
there you go.
Good for you.
I'm really good at holding grudges. It's not great quality, but
that's a spite move right there.
Yeah.
That is very spiteful. The guy just loves the movie and wanted you to love it too. And
I hate when people talk in movies that I haven't seen. Like, it is a really big pet peeve for me. If I've seen it, I don't care. We can talk about anything you want. If I've never seen this movie, do not speak to me. Do not be near, like, just let me be in this movie. And he did not respect that. So
there's a statute of limitations on that though. Like if you're like a year out and it's a hit movie, I'm talking, sorry, you had your chance to see it. I'm going to give you my color commentary. That's just the rule. But
he wasn't giving commentary.
He was just quoting it. Was it like Tourette's, where it was like involuntary, where it was just coming out of him?
No,
he loves it so much.
Everyone else was like, please stop. Like, you're ruining. Like, I wasn't the only one that was annoyed. He was just doing it. And he was just like, I just can't help myself.
Did he think he was showing off? Like, look how cool I am that I know all these words?
I think a little bit. And it was not impressing anyone.
Emily, he was trying to show off for you.
He was.
No, absolutely not.
Well,
absolutely not.
I mean, quoting Lord of the Rings actually has the opposite effect. It's actually, you lose quite a bit of respect for someone when you realize they've memorized the Lord of the Rings movies.
Yeah, the extended edition. I can't stress that enough. This is not like the normal one.
Quoting deleted scenes in a movie that's already like 4.5 hours. I'm sorry, we can't be friends. It's just that's yeah.
Have you followed this? Speaking of deleted scenes, have you followed on Instagram or TikTok the Office bloopers? Like,
no.
Where do these bloopers come from? Like, there's no
DVDs.
Where's the DVD? Like, is there like?
I have season 4.
Yeah, I had them. I had before they were like on Peacock. I had some of the DVDs. Yeah, I think the entire blooper reels are on YouTube though.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And YouTube.
I think a lot of the deleted scenes are also coming from the super fan episodes that Peacock's been rolling out.
No, I watch those religiously. I know all of them. There's no bloopers in it. What they just add in is storylines and asides that were cut out.
I think.
You're talking about like the true like goofs and mess ups.
Bloopers were like this character is trying to do a thing and this
Right.
character just cracks up laughing and breaks the scene.
If you were to go on YouTube and say like Office season 4 blooper reel, I think you can watch the one that they actually packaged in the DVDs back.
The thing that's crazy is how absolutely improv that show was. I when you watch it, it's cut so tight. I don't think you realize like they do 30 takes and just wing it. And then like Michael and then, Steve Carell will just like do different lines and stuff to try to get different reactions. And like, I'm guessing 50% of the final product was improv, based on the bloopers.
Wow.
Curb famously for a while didn't even provide actors with dialogue. They just gave an outline and said, hey, make your way through the scene.
I've heard that's what they kind of did with like the confessional parts of The Office. Like when it's just them and like one-on-one, they kind of just said like a general idea and just let them talk. So, which I think like some of those are like the funniest lines of the whole series.
Curb, I mentioned on the last show, like this summer I've been doing like going back to some of my favorite shows and like rewatching them as a complete work. I did that with Curb as well. I think of you, Jesse, every time I do because it's your type of humor of awkward.
I love Curb.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's a great show. But what's funny is that approach that he took of just kind of winging it. It's like very early on in the series, like he was there, like ready to do that kind of approach. And some of his actors weren't quite up on par with him. And so it's a little stunted in the early seasons, but they caught their groove after 2 or 3,
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway. All right. Well, moving the show along. Stay tuned. Up next, it's Slices.
Drive me crazy. I'd go anywhere you take me. 1980s. Summer soundtrack, Latin jazz. We were 18. Nearly out of our minds when the world was mine. When the world was mine. I don't care what we do. Can I kick it with you? Like it hasn't been forever. I don't care what we do. Come and cut me in two. Like I have nothing to hide. We could rule the world. We could lay.
You're listening to Bad Sons. The song is When the World Was Mine, not to be confused with Nas's If I Ruled the World. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Mercy Ships. Globally, 5 billion people lack access to surgical care. In sub-Saharan Africa, there's only one surgeon for every 200,000 people. Mercy Ships provides free, life-transforming surgeries for people who have little to no access to medical care. They help the blind see, straighten twisted limbs, remove deadly tumors, treat cleft conditions, and so much more. With state-of-the-art hospital ships, they provide safe surgery to children and adults living with treatable conditions, and it's completely free of charge. They do all this work with an all-volunteer crew of professionals who donate their time and talents. Surgeons, stewards, nurses, engineers, and more make the world a better place. Your donation today provides free, safe surgeries to people in desperate need of help. All gifts are matched, so please donate today at mercyships.org/relevant. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Tim Tebow's book, Look Again. Have you ever wondered what would change if you truly believed you were infinitely valuable to God? In his New York Times bestselling book, Look Again, Tim Tebow reveals the powerful truth that when we learn to see the image of God in every person, including those we struggle to love, everything changes. Tebow shares incredible stories from his work with people the world often overlooks, and it will challenge you to stand up to the lies, rediscover the worth that everyone has, and impact the world for good. Find Look Again by Tim Tebow, available now wherever books are sold. Okay, it's time for
Slices.
What do you have, Jesse?
All right. It's been a while since I talked about this topic. I don't want to exasperate it, but this was a pretty shocking revelation. Our lawmakers in Congress this past week signed the Intelligence Authorization Act for fiscal year 2023. It's a budgetary piece of legislation that basically authorizes the government to spend on intelligence and defense stuff for the year. If they have to do it every year. Not very glamorous, but in this one, some dogged reporters, political reporters who read all the legislation that Congress signs, found a couple lines that they felt like were pretty strange. One was an addendum to this piece of this budgetary legislation that preserve money for our Defense Department to study, quote, cross-domain transmedium threats to the United States national security that they said are expanding exponentially. Now, they were able to get some clarification on what transmedium threats are. And these are craft that they've observed operating in ways in the sky and water. So that's what transmedium, in ways that they don't understand. It also included a line that said, temporarily non-attributed objects, or those that are positively identified as man-made after the analysis, will be passed to appropriate offices and should not be considered under the definition as unidentified aerospace undersea phenomena. So if you catch that, that's a long way of saying, hey, there is stuff out there that we are, for the first time, lawmakers in Congress are acknowledging are not man-made. So this is actual acknowledgement from the federal government in a piece of legislation that they are designating part of their budget to study non-man-made threats to the planet or to the United States that they've observed doing things that they can't explain. This is a huge acknowledgement, but it's kind of gone sort of ignored in the media. I get why. It's a kind of a weird topic, but those are actually lines from a piece of legislation that passed this week that the budget is being formally preserved to study non-man-made craft that they've observed, zipping around out there.
But you have a theory, and not to go into all of it, you have a theory that a lot of these sightings are possibly dark tech that is being developed by certain parts of our military under top secret guises. They're being tested, and other parts of the military, maybe that pilot in the Air Force doesn't know about it or have the authorization. So therefore they're going, I can't explain this, but it's all okay because it's actually our government advancing technology and war technology beyond what our enemies are aware of. So if that is ultimately turns out to be true, which we can't confirm. Yeah. This throwaway line in the budget would almost be a smokescreen to the enemies to say, maybe it is UFOs and don't look over here anymore.
That's my personal theory, but I think it's just as interesting either way that the kind of
they went
intelligence.
It made the news this year. They had hearings about it this year. So now it's like, hey, we need to cover our bases to make it look legit. Like we're taking this seriously as UFOs, even though those of us in the know what it is. You know what I mean? But like,
that's where I lean that this is, terrestrial technology being developed in top secret. But I also think it's interesting that if that's the case, either lawmakers are willfully putting something that's untrue in a law, or they're being kept in the dark. I personally think it's the latter. I think. I mean, even the president of the United States wasn't even aware of the Manhattan projects until weeks before we dropped a bomb. And drop bombs in World War II.
Literally, we had primaries here in Florida this week, and in Orlando, the first Gen Zer, a 25-year-old guy,
saw that,
won his primary and will be going up for a seat in Congress in the fall. And he's a Democrat. It's a very blue district. He's a shoo-in, right? So he's going to be a 25-year-old in Congress. I'm sorry, there's a whole lot of people in Congress. I'm not saying he's inexperienced by his age, but there's a whole lot of people in Congress. I don't know if you've seen the Liz Cheney losing in hers. I don't know if you saw the debate clips of who beat her. Yeah. But there's some really stupid people in Congress who have no right to be there. And so they got to keep them in the dark is what I'm saying. So
yeah, exactly. And I think it's wisdom not to show our hand to everyone just because they happen to be an elected official, especially elected officials that operate under pretty strict term limits,
Yeah.
I feel like at any minute someone's going to walk into Jesse's office and he's just going to be taken away and we're never going to see him again because he knows
he's got those two locks.
I know,
so he's fine.
Yeah,
because you're things that you're not supposed to know, and they're going to be like, "Who is this Jesse Carey in Virginia behind the mirror wall?"
I visited there last month, and he is surrounded by military personnel. His cul-de-sac is all military people.
They keep him there.
He goes jogging around military bases. He told me the story one time of him and his friend. His friend was in the military, that they were on a long bike ride along the coast. They cut back through the base. Like, I think he's just going to be like tangentially around the base and just will never hear from him again. They just keep him because.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they will, but I will say some of these bases are pretty nice. They got bowling alleys and stuff. So if they want to keep me there, it's not that bad. It's not that
the
bad,
worst
guys.
thing. I love that you're on this podcast, Jesse, with your theory, because I will go with the other theory, which is that there are aliens out there and they are developing spacecrafts. And I love it. I support it.
I mean, I'm not close to that. But I think, if just applying Occam's razor, it seems like if I'm just looking at plausibility and sort of the history of military innovation, again, I'm not close to the idea and very well could be, some sort of extraterrestrial species. But I also think, again, it seems most likely to me that this stuff has been under development for a very long time. And, I think with the advent of consumer like recording equipment, surveillance, everyone's got a camera in their pocket these days, So if back in the day, if you saw an experimental aircraft, you tell your friends about it, but you probably didn't have video or photographic evidence. Now things are different, I think that's a little bit more why it's more widely accepted, not necessarily because it's more prevalent, but because everybody in the world can go out and film it and upload it to the internet, Again, I'm not close to the idea, but that's just my take.
The cold water that gets poured on it for me, Emily, is that in the expanse of space, the likelihood that there's life on other planets, sure. I mean, I don't know what that means theologically, with Christian faith, but, is there other life forms out there? I think there's common sense would say there is. But those planets are thousands, if not millions or billions of light years away. So just thinking about that, to come to our little speck, we're not a major planet. We're not anything. To come here, dart around in the sky, fly around and not make contact and then just dart back home makes no sense to me. Like if they're going to come all the way billions of light years and they discovered life on our planet, they're going to interact with us somehow. They're not just going to like flit around and go away. You know what I mean? That's the thing that
you don't know aliens. They might not care. They might just be passing by us.
I saw Men in Black. Maybe they are among us right now.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Angels and Aliens Among Us.
That sounds like a good movie. I would watch that.
Yeah.
Didn't Frank Peretti write that? I think Frank Peretti wrote that in the 90s. It was a whole genre of Christian fiction there in the 90s. All right. What do you have, Emily?
I have some interesting, science news. Scientists have decided to resurrect an extinct animal. About 100 years ago, the Tasmanian tiger, which was native to Australia, went extinct. But this team of researchers at the University of Melbourne think that they can actually bring the animal back using this DNA retrieval. There's been a lot of advances in genetics and just some artificial reproduction advances as well. And they think that they can bring this animal back. And not just one animal, but they really think that they can essentially repopulate this. And so this is really big because there's so many species or animals that have been extinct. So if they can make this work, it's kind of like, where do we go next after this? So it's interesting. There are a lot of questions about ethics though. And
I'm thinking of some of them.
Yeah. The ethics thing is a wild. The thing that, we've been covering this beat in the faith and science kind of overlap for 15 years now with Relevant. Like technology is advancing so much faster than the ethics conversation, especially from a faith perspective.
Yeah.
Like the church has stuck their head in the sand about stuff.
Right.
And it's like, can we? Sure. Should we?
Should we?
Maybe we should stop and think about that. But the people who are advancing the can we aren't thinking about the should we.
Yeah.
And the people who would think about the should we, faith leaders, ethics leaders, thought leaders, aren't aware of how fast technology is advancing. So stuff's happening and then we find out about it later. You know what I'm saying? When you look at it as a Christian worldview, God's creative intent. So if we believe God created that animal and then like man did things to make that animal go extinct, is it God's intent that that animal exists, so man needs to fix man's mistake by bringing it back to life? Or did God know the beginning, middle, and end at the beginning of time, and he knew that that animal would go away, and that's kind of part of the plan, and man is now playing God by trying to bring back life that was ended. You know?
Yeah, or what are the extents of dominion over the earth, right?
Yeah.
When Adam and Eve were given that, responsibility, what was there limitations to it? Or if it's like, hey, if you break something and figure out a way to fix it, great. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's,
or do we have dominion over plant life and animal life, but not human life? Like, where's the line between we can mess around and reanimate animals because who cares? We have dominion, but don't mess with humans because the same technology is going to be applied to humanity to extend life and, all that. So,
and who gets to decide which animals we do and we do? I mean, there's a lot there too of who's making these decisions.
There isn't anybody.
Just a
And there's
company.
questions too about, how will this affect the eco? For 100 years, the Australian bush hasn't had this animal. How is the ecosystem going to be affected if they are able to reacclimate? Like, there's so many questions, but I do actually want to read a quote by one of the scientists, because I think to your point, Cameron, it does sum up, scientists are not thinking about the ethical questions. This man, Tom Gilbert, said, "To me, the real benefit of any de-extinction project such as this is the awesomeness of it. Doing it seems very justified to me simply because it will excite people about science, nature, and conservation." And so that's what, they're just like, oh, this is exciting. This is new. And they're not thinking about, like we're talking about, like, what are the ethical, what does the future look like? You're thinking this one way, but as sci-fi movies or just our own imagination this can go a million different ways.
And you have to look at if you believe in man-caused climate change, there are species and ecosystems that we, because of our negligence, are killing off right now. So if science has the ability to prolong or artificially resuscitate that life, and maybe we can help it reacclimate to a new area, a new ecosystem, is that part of man's responsibility, as Jesse said, having dominion over the earth and caring for creation? Is that actually fulfilling what God intended?
Or is it one big slippery slope?
Yeah, but again, these are big ideas that are layered, but just ignoring them entirely, or ignoring the topic of like transhumanism, or even to the last slice, you have lawmakers sitting here signing a piece of legislation openly in their view, acknowledging that a very intelligent life or something outside of what is created on this earth is posing a literal threat. I mean, that's the exact words it uses. And the church, are just openly ignoring it almost entirely. It's almost like, ridicule for even suggesting that a pastor should acknowledge, hey, there is some possibility if like Emily is correct, or if not just Emily, but like if people who believe this possibility, that everything you think you know about God, creation, and faith could be blown up any day now. And the strategy is, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, to me, that is kind of, concerning.
I mean, the reanimation of this Tasmanian, tiger or whatever it was, is just the beginning of who said a slippery slope. I start to really go the human application of it. We've been talking about this for a while. I mean, we know that there's bio 3D printing, and they can create human organs, human ears, functioning body parts. So, that seems like an amazing medical breakthrough. Somebody had a catastrophic accident. They can get half their face reconstructed. Somebody, is waiting on a lung transplant. We can create a working human lung for you and save your life. I mean, that seems like an amazing breakthrough. But the question is when you get into like creating human bodies, human body parts, and designer DNA, and they can go into an embryo and rewire a couple of DNA strands to give you blue eyes and tall babies and smart babies and all the stuff. You can do all that. You are playing God at that point. And then the question comes up, like, if we believe in the soul and the spirit and the mind and the body, what is human and what is spirit? And is it like, if you're more than 51% biologically made and only up to 49% artificially biologically made, you're still human? Or like, is there a tipping point where this is just a clone thing that has no soul, no spirit? It's not a human. How do we define humanity? How do we define life?
Yeah.
That's the bigger question. These are huge questions.
Yeah.
And science can do all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying is like the church isn't even talking about it. And it's all here because it's awesome. Let's just bring this species back. I mean, that's crazy that this isn't like the biggest conversation happening right now, but welcome to my TED Talk.
Greatly appreciated.
Good Lord. This gets me going. Jesse, I'm surprised you're biting your tongue. This is something you talk about for 20 years now.
Yeah. I mean, again, like, it's just like like I said, it's almost like not a frustration with, but it's one of those things where I don't know why more people kind of in kind of the Christian space aren't engaging with these ideas in any meaningful way.
Can I tell you, Mike, why I think that is?
Yeah.
Because I always feel like, I don't know if convicted is the right word, but I always feel a little uncomfortable in these conversations because I literally could be the person that's like, I actually don't ever think about this and could care less. And so, like, I hear what you're saying, like, we have to care and we have to think about it. But I think not in defense of people who are not having these conversations, but like when I think about my own personal life, I'm like, man, I got so many things I'm trying to lead well with and teach and talk about that this feels so distant and it feels so big and it feels so out of reach that I'm like, I can't spend time on that. I got to talk about like, how do we take care of the homeless people in Austin? Like, that's what it feels like to me.
And I don't think that, I think that's totally fair. You know what I mean? But I think there are, especially in ministry, there are because I do think,
God calls you to do the thing that he opens your eyes to. So if that's serving locally, that's great. Everybody has arms and eyes and feet. We're all different parts of the body of Christ. I'm saying the church has a role in this conversation and we're neglecting it.
Yeah, I'm not saying every leader has to, but I'm saying like there are entire ministries that are dedicated to the intersections of faith and science or their interpretation of science.
Biologos.
And those are the ones, Biologos, or on the other end of the spectrum, someone like, Answers in Genesis. But both of them, but seriously, I mean, that's in the crux of their entire ministry is to try to validate
God through science.
Validate their interpretation of scripture through observational science. Again, there are entire ministries dedicated to these intersections that aren't really meaningfully engaging this. And like I said, I think everyone, the rate of acceleration of technology is going to force it to the forefront really soon.
And maybe what we can actually say is like, for those of us that we don't understand it, we don't get it, it doesn't cross our mind. Maybe we could be people who elevate the scientists who are talking about faith and science and like point people to them and say, hey, this is a conversation worth having. These people are having it really well. Let's go listen and follow and learn from them instead of feeling responsible. Like, oh, I have to talk about it. I don't even get this. What do you mean? And so I think that's really great.
Totally agree. And people like BioLogos or organizations like BioLogos have great books and resources about creation theory and the origin of the universe and things through a Christian worldview and the Christian lens, but also very scientifically sound as well. And it's like you just need to read the book Origins once and you go, oh, this connected dots that I didn't ever connect before. This helped me understand my theology, my faith. And I can go about my life now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to, like, you're growing in your understanding, you're growing in your faith and your understanding of God, but it doesn't necessarily have to change the fact that you're serving the homeless in Austin. You know what I'm saying? It's just part of having a well-rounded Christian worldview.
I agree.
I think this needs to be part of that, but anyway, what do you have, Jamie?
Well, I'll tell you what, it has nothing to do with aliens, nothing to do with science, nothing to do with bringing back people from dead. This is just, I'm going to give everyone what you're really wanting is you're wanting a movie pass. Did any of y'all get movie passes when they came out? When was that? 2017? What was that? Did anyone have one?
I almost did, but I didn't.
Fantastic concept.
Yeah.
Did you have one, Jesse?
I did not, but I thought it was a great idea.
I did not have one, but I had friends that had one, and I do think I used their movie pass at various times.
I think it's a great idea as well. And in 2017, it came out. You could, for like $10 a month, $9.99, you could watch a movie a day. Well, they're relaunching it, you guys. And I am going to say, I think I'm going to try it out because you guys know I do love going to the movies. I think even I go to the movies maybe more than anyone on here. I love going to the movies.
You
Even
love
if
going
I
to the
fall
first
asleep.
half of movies. You love
Even
going.
if I fall asleep, I love the experience. They've got the TV tray, the dinner, the food, the drinks, all the things. Okay.
If you heard the last episode, if you know Jamie Ivey loves anything, you know it's Sylvester Stallone and TV trays. So
there you go. And I can get it all at the movie theater. Okay. So it's coming back and they're launching it in a beta form on Labor Day. So you have to join this queue first. Go to relevantmagazine.com. Y'all are covering it over there.
We are.
But you have an option. You give them your zip code and they have these general tiers ranging from either $10 to $30 a month. Would you pay $30 a month, you guys?
I mean, that's two
If
movie
I'm
tickets.
really going to movies,
I would. I'll let you know
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's a pretty good deal.
But
Yeah,
don't like Regal and others have their own version of Movie Pass. You can do a Regal Unlimited card for like $25 a month and see a movie a day right now at Regal
I will
theaters.
probably only do this if it covers Alamo Draft House here in Austin because that's really the only place I watch movies.
If
And
you
I
know
don't know
anything
if it
about
does.
Jamie Ivey, TV Tray, Sylvester Stallone, and Draft Houses is her
Listen,
three.
Alamo Draft House is super cool. I
They're
really
awesome.
like Alamo Draft House.
We have one here in Orlando.
I was going to say there's other places, not just they started here in Austin. But anyhow, there you go, guys. The good news of the day is that you might be able to get a movie pass again.
Love
And
it.
I'm here for it.
I'm
Me
excited
too.
for it.
What's-
There's been some good movies about to come out, I think. And so it would be nice to have a movie pass. So then I don't have to worry about which ones I want to see in theater. I can just see all of them in theater.
Yep.
I've officially shifted to the phase of my life where I see a big new movie come out and I'm like, sweet, in 3 weeks that'll be on HBO Max. And so like I just wait
yeah,
for it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I instantly Google, when is the streaming release date for this film?
And then every once in a while it'll be like, okay, I should see that in the theaters because I don't want to wait. But it's not like the old days where it was like 6 months later that it showed up on HBO.
Right.
It's now literally like 6 weeks later. So it's like,
Yeah, they show up so quickly. It's shocking every time.
yeah.
But see,
I'm so
here's the
used to
deal,
it.
you guys. You know, if you know anything about me, Cameron summed it up. I don't go to the movies just for the movies. I need them to bring me the food and the drinks and have the chair that reclines. And that does not
Yes.
happen at my house. So there it is.
Yeah, you're stuck with a dinner tray. Yeah,
Yeah.
and lo
If
mein.
you paid one of your kids $20 to do all that for you instead of paying the movie theater to $20 to do all that for you, they would.
It's not the same. They wouldn't do
Not
good
the
at this
same.
job.
$20 every time, though.
They wouldn't do a good job, and then they'd be there, and then the dogs would bark, and no.
I loved it. I love the disdain in your voice when you said, "And they'd be there." Like it's your
The whole
family.
point of going
I'm
to the
kidding,
movies is to
kids.
get away from. Yeah.
There you go.
That's great. All right, that'll do it for Slices. Stay tuned. Up next, the Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power cast joins us.
Course, I wanna be part of something more. You should have known I wasn't sure. You're keeping quiet, I'm keeping score. I've thrown my vices to the wind. I'm better than I was. I've been in crisis since the crib. I've been
You're listening to Sarah and the Sundays. The song is Vices. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by John Mark Comer's book, Garden City, a book that speaks to the tension we all feel between work, rest, and purpose. The New York Times bestselling author John Mark Comer takes us to the scriptures to identify what it really means to be human and flips the script on the idea that who you are matters, not what you do. He shows that God created us for meaningful work and meaningful rest. Both matter. This book helps you ask and answer the big questions. Does God care where I work? Is there a direction for my life? So you can discern God's heart for your calling, your rhythms, and the way his spirit wants to shape every part of your life. If you're longing for purpose and a more grounded way to live, check out the new hardcover edition of Garden City wherever books are sold. Well, today's show is brought to you in part by the new book, God, the Science, the Evidence. We talk a lot about faith, but how often do we talk about science in the same breath? You might be surprised to discover just how deeply the two actually agree. For centuries, science has been used to dismiss the idea of God, but today an intellectual revolution is underway. Modern discoveries in physics, cosmology, and biology are consistently revealing the same truth: creation isn't an accident. That profound reversal is what engineers Michel-Yves Bolloré and Olivier Bonassi investigate in their international bestseller, God, the Science, the Evidence. This book is a rigorous, evidence-based critique of materialism, inviting you to explore over a dozen scientific, philosophical, and historical domains. It shows that what was once seemed impossible, that science could point to a creator,
is now supported by a vast and convergent body of evidence. With over 400,000 copies sold in Europe, this book is sparking a global debate. It's thoughtful, fascinating, and a powerful reminder that reason itself affirms the existence of God. Learn more and find out where you can purchase your copy today by visiting godthesciencetheevidence.com.
Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Erwin McManus's book, The Barbarian Way. Some books don't just inspire you, they confront you. The Barbarian Way, now celebrating its 20th anniversary, is one of those books. If you felt the pull of God towards something deeper and wilder than the safe, predictable version of faith that we settle for, McManus reminds us that following Jesus was never meant to be tame. It's meant to awaken courage, passion, and purpose God placed inside us. He draws from the wild stories of Abel, Noah, Moses, Rahab, and others to remind us that following God wasn't meant to be tame. Safe faith isn't working. Step into the story God is writing for you. Choose passion, choose boldness, choose The Barbarian Way. Available now wherever books are sold. Well, we have a few guests today. We got the chance to speak with the cast of Amazon's biggest series, television's biggest series ever, The Lord of the Rings of Power. Our very own Tyler Huckabee spoke with Sophia Nomvet, Owain Arthu, and Robert Arameo about the upcoming series and what fans can expect adventuring back to Middle-earth. Here is our conversation with the cast of The Lord of the Rings of Power.
My brother gave his life hunting the enemy. His task is now mine.
Speak your truth. We already know.
Stand with me. Ours was no chance meeting.
Search your mind.
Not fate,
It's written in gold.
nor destiny. Ours was the work of something greater.
All right, so I was able to sit down with a lot of different cast members of Amazon's Lord of the Rings of Power series. Now, this show picks up many thousands of years before the Lord of the Rings we know, before Bilbo finds that ring in The Hobbit. So there are a few familiar faces from J.R.R. Tolkien's trilogy in the mix, but most of the characters are either new or they're only familiar to like those Tolkien obsessives who really know their Silmarillion back and forth. So I did get to see the first 2 episodes of the show, and I think Lord of the Rings fans will be able to tell that it was really put together by people who care a lot about Tolkien stories and about Peter Jackson's trilogy. It is the most expensive TV show of all time, and that definitely shows. You've got a lot of those sweeping cinematic panoramas like from the movies, and there's also just a great attention to detail in the sets and the costumes that you don't often see on television. It's definitely both a very expensive labor, but it's a labor of love for sure. So in this combo, you'll be hearing from Owain Arthur. He plays the dwarf King Durin. You hear from Sophia Nomvete, who plays his wife, Princess Disa, and Robert Aramayo. He plays a young Elrond. I enjoyed this conversation, and I think for those of you who maybe have some concerns about the show or a little worried about them taking a stab at something so beloved, I think some of the things you hear here might help put your mind at ease.
My first question is just kind of a general group swim for all of you. I wonder about the pressure and the tension of something that you're coming into that has so many fans, so many expectations, so many ideas about what this show should be like. How do you try to honor those expectations and those ideas while still being true to wanting to do something new and having your own creative ideas about where to take these things?
Yeah, I think when you read Tolkien, he writes in such a way as if he's kind of like peeking behind the curtain in certain ways, you know, like that's what I love so much about reading, especially his first age stuff, where something is described, but there's ambiguity there. And so I think as a reader, when you're there and you're in the story, sometimes I have to take a minute just to imagine what is going on. What am I trying to look at? And he invites your imagination to the table and to make choices. And the show is set in a time where we don't know very much. And so it's the showrunner's choices that they've made to connect certain dots and certain plot points on the map that we do know about the Second Age. And so I just hope that the fans embrace that and enjoy those choices, because when you hear about what's happening in other storylines or something that I know from the Legendarium, someone says this happens and this happens, it excites me because I know what happened, but I don't know how we got there. It's like that journey is sort of like what is sort of symbolic of our show or something.
These characters are obviously they're very fanciful. They're very famous. Some of you portray some pretty odd characters. I'm curious about the journey to find the humanity or the relatability in these for you, despite the sort of fantastic surroundings that you all are in.
It's personally speaking, playing a dwarf, an other being. The biggest quality is quite human, which is relatable. And in particular, Dorian and Disa's scenario is very domestic. And, one way or another, we've all had a very domestic relationship or a partner in our lives. And I think that's very relatable. And I think JD and Patrick, the showrunners, enjoy that and really take that story for a walk with it, and it's a pleasure to be playing it as well.
The idea of power is right there in the title. And I've often thought that a lot of Tolkien's stories kind of centers around this idea of power, who has it, who doesn't, who deserves to have it, and what it does to people when they get it. What do you think about this theme is relevant to people who watch this in 2022 and some of our own ideas of power, what we have today? And what does this show say about the idea of who has and who doesn't have power?
Well, I think generally there are many factors that excite, I think, humans to power. I think one of those is fear, because we strive for power potentially because of a fear that we have, that we then need to take control of the situation in order to get the best out of whatever that might be. And I think a lot of the power that drives many characters is out of survival, comes from a place of kind of survival. And I think that's very true of the age that we're living in, this sense of kind of solidarity and sticking to is very evident in the world that we live in today. And I think what Tolkien lets us explore is the idea of kind of opening up the gates and celebrating each other's kind of individual powers. And actually, the biggest force is when all of those powers come together. That's when we kind of truly overcome evil. So that kind of sense just feels like such a brilliant mirror and reflection to today and the world that we live in.
Mm-hmm. That's really, I'm glad that you phoned in on that, because I think that's important. It's really beautiful, and that was very apparent from the first few episodes that I watched. This is kind of a silly question, but it's something I thought about a lot. The many speeches, the dialogue here, it's very, very beautiful. It's sort of it can be sort of long in the style of Tolkien characters who tend to have these long speeches. Is it difficult for you to make those work, to find the sort of energy to keep that dialogue going? Is it hard to get yourself in the mind of a character who talks this way?
Well, I think it's sort of very, at its best, it's kind of Shakespearean, really. Mm-hmm. And so, if you've ever done Shakespeare, it's useful, I guess, isn't it? Tackling that language and taking on this language, it's heightened dialogue, so there's kind of a reflection there. But yeah, it's beautiful, and I really like the showrunners have such poetry written into the dialogue.
There's a musicality to it, isn't there? Yeah. And it almost feels like it's really easy. It doesn't feel daunting, because every single line, as with Shakespeare, and I love Shakespeare and have been so fortunate to work with so much Shakespeare in my time, that everything just ripples across. It's not finished until it's finished. So you don't feel like you're having to get there. It feels like the appropriate next thing to say. And it ends when that speech comes to a close, which is very Shakespearean. And I think JD and Patrick have done a great job of this kind of seamless flow from a top of a speech to the end that doesn't feel like it should end until the full stop happens within that kind of rhythm and poetry of the piece.
We can survive this, you and I.
Wait! No! We keep moving!
Why do you keep fighting?
There is a tempest in me.
You have fought long enough, Galadriel. Put up your sword.
That was the Rings of Power cast. Make sure to check out the debut on Amazon September 2nd. Biggest show of all time. Don't miss it. Stay tuned. Up next, it's our game, Karaoke Hummer. You're listening to Yacht Club. The song is Alive. Okay, well, it's time for a little game our very own Tyler Huckabee threw together for us. It's a little different than some of the recent games. A little behind the scenes note. Our very own Jesse Carey had to go tend to locksmith duties. I don't know if you heard last episode, but he had to run. So he's not part of this. But Jamie and Emily, we have a game for you that Tyler put together. It is called Karaoke Hummers. Karaoke Hummers.
The minute you said Corey had to send us something, I was like, dadgum, I'm going to have to sing.
In this karaoke contest, you will each be given a song that you must sing a cappella. You can do the verse or the chorus, but you can only hum it. No words, no la-la-las. Your lips must remain closed for the entirety of the karaoke song or until we guess it. So the other person will have to attempt to guess what you're humming. The person who takes the least amount of time for anyone to guess the song will win. Everyone else, he's wrote this as though there was going to be a full cast. It's just the two of you. Everyone else will be sent to the back of the karaoke bar, he said. Okay, so Corey has sent you guys your songs. I don't know which ones you're doing. I don't, obviously. So here we go.
Okay.
Yes.
We did something like this when I first joined this
Yes,
cast.
you did. Yeah.
And everyone, I think you told me, Cameron, that I actually don't know how to hum. So this will be exciting.
It'll be very exciting.
Wait, okay, but I'm guessing what she's humming.
Yeah, and she,
Okay.
well, yeah. She'll guess what you're humming.
And I can pick any type of the song, any way in the song, anywhere in the song, right?
Anywhere in the song, anything
Okay,
you
got
want to do. These are all very well-known songs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Here you go. Emily, you're up first. Take it away with Karaoke Hummers. What's your first song?
Okay. Good luck, Jamie.
I'm going to time how long it takes to see which.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Here we go.
Okay. I gotta remember how the song goes. Okay.
No guesses, Jamie?
I think I'm doing pretty good.
Just send me to the back of the karaoke bar. I am so bad.
As a small town girl living in
a lonely world. Okay.
Yeah, I was hitting those notes. Okay.
Technically, it was around 20 seconds. So there you go. All right. Jamie, you're up. Let's see if Emily can guess it. If you can do it in a way that Emily can guess faster than 20 seconds, then you win this round. All right. Jamie, you're up. Take it away.
I only know 3 words from the whole song.
Well, you don't need words. It's humming.
I don't know how the song goes. Okay, ready? Here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. Sorry.
Born in the USA.
Yay! My gosh.
7
Good
seconds.
job, Emily.
7 seconds.
That one was
my
tough,
gosh.
I'll be honest.
Jamie wins round 1 in a landslide.
No, Emily wins round 1.
No, your humming was so good that she got it in 7 seconds.
Oh, that feels bad. Okay.
I feel like I should get a half point.
I think she should too. Okay, carry on.
All right, you both got half points for the first round. That stinks. That's no good. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Emily, you're up for the second round. Take it away.
Okay. Okay.
Britney Spears?
Yes.
Okay. Baby, baby. Da-da-da-da-da-da. I don't know the song.
She's got it.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
Hit me, baby, one more time. Yes.
All right. If we're going to give it to her, she got it in 7 seconds. So there you go. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Good job. Good job, Emily.
Good job, Emily.
All right, Jamie, you are up.
Okay, here we go. Ready?
Okay.
Oh gosh, that's so hard. Here we go.
I don't know what that one was.
Because I think my hum has like one sound the whole time.
She stepped on a duck's foot and she was reenacting
It sounded a little bit like a whale sound.
Okay, I'm skipping that one, Corey, just so we're clear. I'm going to the next one. Here we go. Ready? Here we go. Oh, y'all, that's so bad. Okay, here we go. I think Emily should get a point. I'm so bad at this.
Wait, okay, do it one more time.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. That's all I know.
And it's a popular song?
No, it was from a movie by Queen. You got it.
Oh, we are the champions.
Yeah, it was so bad.
I had to look down the document to find something. What was the one from Queen?
Emily should not be punished for this. This is like an impossible contest.
That was a great artist interpretation.
Oh
That's
my
what
gosh.
your own twist.
Emily wins that round. All right.
Thank you.
Third song. Take it away, Emily.
Okay. I don't remember the rest of the words.
Do you know it, Cameron?
I'm literally looking at all the song names and I cannot identify what that one could have possibly been.
Let me see.
Give us a clue. Give us a clue. I gave you a clue.
Is a country song?
Okay, carry on. I can do it now.
All right, do it again.
Do it again. The artist?
It's Carrie Underwood. Jesus, take the wheel.
Oh, Jesus, take the wheel.
I identified it because you said country, and that's the only country artist on the list. I've never heard that song in my life. So
You've never heard that song?
Never in my life.
Oh.
How did you avoid that song? It was everywhere in 2005.
I don't listen to country radio. I don't know.
I can't feel
Well, I think it was also played on the Christian radio because she kind of.
I don't listen to Christian radio either.
What?
The truth comes out.
I listen to worship. I don't listen to this Safe for the Little Ears 25-year-old DC Talk stuff.
Safe
that
for
they
the
play.
whole family. Safe for the whole family.
And here in Orlando, it's Safe for the Little Ears. Literally.
Is that what they say?
That's the marketing campaign. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. That's a mulligan.
I literally feel like the listeners are like, Cameron, make it stop. Like my ears are hurting.
All right, last one. This is the last one. This will be the last round. This is the last one. Go out with a bang. Let's do it.
You got this, Jamie.
You got it. I believe
All right,
you.
here we go. Ready?
Yeah. Staying Alive?
Yes.
By
Yes.
the Bee Gees.
Good job. Listen, I don't think I actually hum. I think I just barely say the words in my mouth.
I was actually looking at your head kind of bopping around and I was like, okay, I know the beat she's going for. So
Okay, so she won. So she won the last round. Emily won the second round, and you both got half points for the first round. So you both tie with 1.5 points. So there you go.
Okay.
That's the lowest score anyone's ever gotten on this.
This is so bad.
Tyler is just sitting back listening to this right now, just smiling and smiling.
He's got a
Just that
smug
he got-
face on.
Yeah, that he got you all to
Eating
do
his
this.
baguette.
I love it. All right. Well, that'll do it for Karaoke Hummers. Oh, man. We got to do it again when Derek and Jesse are part of it.
Yes.
Make them do it too. All right. Okay, cool. Well, before we wrap things up, I want to thank the Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power cast for joining us. We might have a little bit more in store with them coming up soon. Make sure to keep your eyes out for that. Make sure to check it out as it debuts September 2nd, coming up just a couple days from now. Biggest show of all time. Don't miss it. Couple other things. Head over to relevantmagazine.com to see all of our daily content. We're publishing the intersection of faith, culture, and justice there every day. And while you're there, make sure to check out the latest issue of Relevant. Our summer digital issue is out now, featuring conversations with the Mountain Goats, Echo Smith, Rainn Wilson, Naomi Raine, so much more. It's available for free, thanks to World Vision. Also, if you sign up for Relevant Plus, our subscription service, our ad-free subscription service, you get an enhanced ad-free edition of the issue, plus unlimited articles and ad-free viewing at relevantmagazine.com, ad-free podcasts, early release, exclusive podcasts, and actually a lot more. Go check out all the info at relevantmagazine.com. Relevant Plus plans start as low as $250 a month. Also, while you're at the site, make sure to check out our weekday devotional series, Deeper Walk, which is presented by Lumo. There's a morning devotional email you can sign up for, or you can check it out each morning in the faith section there at the website. Okay, on that note, we'll wrap it up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jamie Ivey.
I'm Emily Brown.
For Jesse Carey and Derek Miner. We'll see you next week. Have a great one.
Thanks for listening to the Relevant Podcast. Check out our features, interviews, and news updates every day at relevantmagazine.com. And make sure to follow Relevant on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest. For more great podcasts, browse the shows on the Relevant Podcast Network, which you can find at our site. And while you're there, don't miss the all-new era of Relevant Magazine. A new issue releases every other month at relevantmagazine.com.
They got bowling alleys and stuff, so if they want to keep me there, it's not that bad.
Relevant Podcast Network.